Cartel, my people, my babies, my dogs, what's going on, y'all boys, man? You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Golden Ghost, and welcome back to the Golden Ghost Cartel. And today, my DOA peoples, my DOA homies, come up to the front, have a seat. We need to have a discussion. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack. Let's lock in, bro. This is actually something I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit, to keep it 100% honest with you. This is something I've been thinking about since I seen a particular tweet that I will show you guys in a minute. I wasn't really going to speak on it. I wasn't really feeling 100% inclined to make a video on it. And the reason for that is because of a trap. DOA players, specifically ones that I want to say like myself, like that really prefer 5 over 6. I feel like we fall into this trap to where we unintentionally pit the DOA community against itself by saying, you know, 5 is better than 6 in our opinion, and then if we ever get a vocal about how we don't like 6 over 5, it unintentionally sparks drama. And drama is just something that I'm not trying to get into, because it's just not good for the community, bro. The community is literally all the fighting game portion of this game has at this point, you know. And when the community fights itself and they're throwing out, you know, one side, you know, people who prefer 5 over 6 is throwing out, you know, shit at 6, and people who prefer 6 over 5 doing vice versa, or, and, you know, it's just all just too much, bro. It's all just too much. And what it does is it does a couple things, bro. It opens up the door for people who aren't even a part of this community, like the people who play nothing but Tekken. I won't say no names, cause fuck them. But you got people who are outside of the community who got nothing to do with us, able to just spitball takes, able to just spitball misinformation about why our game failed and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, there ain't nobody to defend it. There ain't nobody to defend the franchise, because even our own people is you know, sparking drama about the latest, you know, entry of the series in the fighting game space, at least. So that's honestly just something that I was just trying to avoid. We're gonna get into all this. After seeing this tweet, I forgot to take the chat off. My bad, y'all. Let me take that off. After seeing this tweet, I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead and make a video. I need to go ahead and do this. This is something that I feel like needs to be touched on, something that needs to be talked about, something that needs to be explained. Let me make myself very clear. This is not me being a DOA 6 apologist. It's not me being a DOA 5 shill. I'm not trying to do that. The purpose of this is for us to regain focus and lock in on what we really need to be doing as a community. Because next year, like I said, my prediction was at the end of 2026. One of the reasons why I said at the end of 2026 is because 2025, I've been seeing way too much DOA stuff, like DOA like stuff. I've seen Kasumi statues, I've seen Hayabusa statues, I've seen them mentioning Dead or Alive again after so long. I've seen Team Ninja mentioning Dead or Alive again after so long of not, you know, bringing it up. That it has to be something. For the fighting game players, you know. Another big reason why I say 2026, the 30th anniversary for Dead or Alive is in 2026, next year. So if there's any a chance that we're getting a DOA, if there's any a chance that Team Ninja is listening, now would be the time. Now would be the time where they would be trying to pay attention to see, put their ears out in the streets, put their ears out in the open, and figure out, okay, or do people still want another Dead or Alive game? And on top of VF already coming out with stuff around the corner, with people who are like refugees of other 3D fighting games and went to Tekken and they're disgruntled with Tekken. Not even to say that it's just to compete with Tekken. Put Tekken to the side. It's just saying, I'm just saying all this to say that so many things are lining up for DOA to come back. So when I see a post like this, if by Ultima, if you want to get a new DOA game, continuing the trash on DOA 6, and a series is not going to help. That's 100% fair. That's 100% fair of a statement to make. 100% fair of a statement to make. And this was the turning point for me, where I was like, okay, I have to make a video about this, because this is true. This is true. And I was like, man, are we still at a point to where people are just straight up trash in DOA? Because don't get me wrong, criticism and trash talking, in my view, is two completely different things. Trash talking DOA is very much different than giving out criticism. I feel like everything needs some form of criticism. If it's not perfect, and if it's something you're passionate about, then yeah, you need to criticize it, because at the end of the day, you want it to get better. It's just like with anything in life. With anything in life that gets put out, it is judged, it is critiqued, and depending on what the response is will determine the outcome of the product. You know, if people are disappointed with DOA 6 as a product, then is your responsibility as the consumer of that product to give out your, criticism. However, somewhere between the line of drawing out criticism is somehow turned into trash talk. And I had to think about this for a little bit, but it brought me back to a tweet that I saw that made me start thinking about this in the first place. And that takes me to this tweet. Natsu. Now, don't get me wrong, Natsu's the homie. No hate to my boy Natsu, bro. No hate to the boy Natsu. But my man said, fuck this game and whoever says it's a good game. And this is not me being a DOA 6 apologist, but I just finished explaining to you how if there's any time that DOA is going to be looked at again by Team Ninja, if there's ever a chance that we're going to look back at the series, now would be the time that they would start looking. If it wasn't already in development beforehand. But now would be the time that they start looking. If they look and they see this, brother, what does that help? Fuck this game and whoever says it's a good game. Okay. So the only thing we gain from this information is you believe that it's a terrible game. Okay, cool. What I'm trying to say is, if I'm a dev for a game and I'm trying to look for feedback for a new game, and the first post I see, or the first couple posts I see, I go down, I see this. As a dev, how does that help me make the game better? How does that help me improve the game? I will say, okay, what's going on in this game that's making him say this? There's no context. There's no videos. There's no explanations. No nothing. On top of that, matter of fact, I'm not even going. Let me rewind back further. Same day. Okay, so same day I seen this. Matter of fact, this was a couple hours earlier. Let me take you guys to a different game. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now, I know I just lost a whole bunch of y'all just now. Rock with me real quick, because I need to show y'all something. This is very, very important. This is very, very important. Now, shout out Don Coolio. You one of the guys that showed me, or not show me. You're one of the guys that I go to whenever I keep my information out about anime games, as far as the Dragon Ball community and stuff, because my brother still plays Sparking Zero, so I keep my ears to the community pretty close on a lot of these things. I just don't say nothing. The reason why I'm showing you this, because this is a drama video. I throw all this to the side. I don't really care about none of this. What I need to show you guys is this.
3 videos plus a live stream, bro.
Wait.
All you're doing is ranting about
Wait.
people, but you're not even.
Sparking Zero players play DOA. Sparking Zero players are picking up Dead or Alive. These ain't no experienced players. These are newcomers. I want y'all to look at this gameplay as I'm explaining this. These are newcomers. These are newcomers. And if you're a dev, hell, if you're somebody that wants more people to play DOA, these are people that you want to attract to your game. You don't want, look, the people that play this game hardcore, the people that play this game hardcore, bro, the Emerys, the Hoodlesses, the veterans, they're gonna buy the next. If we get a new DOA game trailer tomorrow, we're on that shit. Like, it doesn't matter. The people that they want to bring in are people like this, you know. And this and like I said, there's no disrespect to them. This is just the fact that they're newcomers. Now let's drive this home even further. How would you feel if you're a brand new person to DOA? You're interested in DOA, and you know what most people would do. You know, most people have a Twitter anyway, or X, so they hop on X. They're like, let me see what's going on with DOA. One of the top posts you see, one of the first posts you see with DOA, fuck this game and whoever says it's a good game. Okay. You go through the comments. I'm not going to get into this. Because this was a whole back and forth between the homies, between Deity and Natsu, going back and forth and stuff. If you see two DOA players going back and forth the way these two were going back and forth, and you're brand new to the game, it's not going to make you want to get engaged with the community, bro. And that's just me being dead honest, bro. If you take anything away from this video, this is what you guys need to take away. We as a community need to refocus. I feel like we've lost a lot of our focus when DOA 6 came out. Matter of fact, I feel like the reason why DOA 6 in general died was because of a lack of focus. They lost focus on who they want to appeal to. They wanted to appeal to everybody and ended up appealing to nobody. They lost focus on the type of players they had. They just seen them all as piggy banks, which led to the final nail in the coffin, which was the hair stuff. They lost focus from the competitive department because of core values. Not gonna get into that. We're just now recovering from that. DOA finally got a chance to show up at EVO again this year, and I feel like that loss of focus has also spread across the community in general. I feel like people who prefer, and I myself am also a victim of this to some degree, because I at one point was saying that DOA 6 is an objectively bad game before in the past too. I did it before, but what I did was, as I got older, I was able to speak with people, multiple people that enjoy both DOA 6 and DOA 5 respectively, and it gave me a lot of new perspectives on the game. I can understand why people enjoy 6. I can understand why people enjoy 5. But when the enjoyers of one entry of the game attacks the other, it's just not a good look, bro. It's not a good look for anybody. It antagonizes the people that actually do enjoy the game. It doesn't look good from the dev perspective. The devs are going to look like, okay, we don't know what to fix for this game. We're just saying fuck the game. So, okay, maybe we might not make another one at all. You know, it might literally scare the devs out of not wanting to make a new DOA. And from a player perspective, new players, which is what the purpose of this is to drive new players into our game, so that way we can have more people to enjoy our games. You know, if they just see all this infighting, they're not going to want to engage with the community, which doesn't hurt, which doesn't help nobody, bro. It's a net negative. It's a net negative. What we need to do now as a community, we need to regain focus, and we need to return to criticizing what's wrong with these games. And when I say criticizing, I don't mean just saying it's ass. When I say criticizing, I mean be solution oriented. If you're going to present a problem with the game, provide a solution. Provide a solution. Or at the very least, provide a clear and specific indication of what issues you're having with the game. That way, at least from a developer side, they can look at it and be like, okay, that's something we can work on in the next game. You know, does that make sense? Let's look at Emery, for example, bro. Now, Emery, he gets a lot of criticism for being very negative about DOA 6. But if you want to give him credit for anything, you can't say that he doesn't have he doesn't give reasons as to what issues he has with 6. He's not just saying the game is ass and not having no reasoning for it. This tweet provides a concrete issue that he's having with the game. Very specific. His specific issue with the game is the ground game. But if I'm a dev and I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, ground game. Maybe that's something that we can work on the next game. Could the way he worded it been more polite? Sure. But at the very least, he gave a concrete reason. The only thing that I could say that's wrong with this is he doesn't really give a solution, like a super solution to the problem. You know, he just gives a concrete reason on what's wrong with it from his perspective. The ground game. He's not saying the ground game needs to be like DOA 5 vanilla or 4. Please just let me make contact with lazy players that don't want to play defense, please. Like, yeah, that can be a little bit vague. But if he's able to give like a more concrete, if he's able to give like a concrete solution to that, picture perfect tweet, for at least for the developers. So that way they can be like, okay, this is the problem. This is how we fix it. Or this is how we can fix it. And it can maybe brainstorm into more ideas. I don't know how things work on the dev side. But I feel like from an outside looking in, that would at least, you know, be solution oriented. That's what I'm saying. Be solution oriented. Let's look at another tweet, man. So sick Nash fan, bro. I play DOA 6 for fun. Meter and no slow escape is not a good design. Hopefully one day we can get a game that takes us back to the good old days. Now, again, meter and slow escape. Say you don't like that. Okay. Gave us a concrete problem that he believes is wrong with the game, right? The problem that I have, same issue with Emery's, bro. Except it's a little bit more exemplified here, because he's talking about, you know, can we get a game that takes us back to the good old days? What does we need you to be specific, you know? And then, you know, have some great ideas for a potential DOA 7. Contact me, please. Now, once again, I feel like this is pretty vague, just saying good old days. But you say you have good ideas for a potential DOA 7. Instead of saying contact me, please, I would just go ahead and send them anyway. You know, send them to master. Email Team Ninja. Email Koi Tecmo. Me personally, I will just put the ideas out on Twitter anyway, so that way you can get more feedback on it, because not every idea is the best idea in everybody's head, you know. Your idea might not be the best idea, you know. Other people you might spout out an idea, put it on Twitter, and other people might see it a whole bunch of different ways. That's the beauty of the internet. You can get multiple different perspectives on things. But I feel like this tweet and this tweet are both better than just saying the game is ass, you know. And when you say the game is ass, and just don't even elaborate, we end up with this situation. We end up right back here, where the only thing we end up with as DOA is another vacation game. And no hate to the vacation people. If anything, I commend the vacation side of DOA, because they never lost focus. Never once. They knew exactly who they was appealing to, and they knew exactly how to execute it, and that's what they did. And that's exactly why they still contain the fan base they do now, and that's why the DOA Extreme games are the only reason why Team Ninja is not underwater right now, bro. That's the only reason they're not underwater. But there's still hope for the fighting game side of things. Like I said, by the end of 2026, we will know. We will know for sure. But if we want to maximize this opportunity, if we want to make sure that this likelihood becomes a guarantee, we have to lock in. We have to do better. We need to stop looking at each other as DOA 5 players and DOA 6 players and DOA vacation players. We need to look at each other all together as just DOA players, and focus on trying to be the best that we can be, instead of tearing each other apart. Because tearing each other apart, bro, Team Ninja is not Namco. This shit could be gone tomorrow. Like Tekken 8, bro, Tekken 8 could fail. Like Tekken 8, like, bro, you already seen what happened with season 2. Tekken 8 season 3 could bomb, and Tekken 8 could essentially end the service. They'll be out with a Tekken 9. They'll be out with a Tekken 9 as scheduled. Namco is too big. If Team Ninja fucks up one too many times, they're out of there. And the way that DOA 6 ended up should already have been proof of that. So adding fuel to the fire of a game that's only thought about of coming back, it doesn't help our chances. So with that being said, we need to do better, just overall. And when I say do better, I mean we need to be less focused on the problem, because the damage has already been done. What we need to focus on now is the future and the solutions, because it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. I think that's how I'm going to end the video. If y'all enjoy this type of content, man, leave a like, comment, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And tune into my streams, because your boy's doing more streaming now. And I'm out this thing, man. Deuces.